That was good, T.
What's going on, bro?
Yeah, thanks for having me,
No
bro.
problem. Thank you for coming on, dog.
Thanks for having me.
You know, it's crazy. I had made a promise to my partner that I was supposed to have like at least 12 of these interviews done before this year out. You know what I'm saying? So you my first.
Okay.
You my first.
Okay. First of many, I hope.
First of many.
First of many.
Now let's get into it.
All right, let's get into it, man.
Rooted. There we go. Mr. Ron Lyrix, right? Ron Lyrix.
Ron _Lyrix.
With an X at the end, right?
With an X at the end.
Okay. I'm talking about everybody. I want to introduce you to this man. This man's a poet. This man's an entrepreneur, a content creator. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, he's, I want to say, owner and operator of
Rolling Words, like you're smoking something, like you're rolling something. Roll and word. That's how it got originated from. When I created it, it was it's supposed to be Smoking Words actually when I first created it, but it's somebody I believe in Florida already had something like that.
Yeah.
So we was like, man, like, you know, what we gonna do with it? You know, how can we change it up? You know, because originally it was just in my apartment, right? And it was gonna be a place where people could come, almost like Tiny Desk, just come and do spoken words and smoke at the same time. That's kind of what the atmosphere was going to be. So we wanted to keep it that, but like I say, smoking words was taken. So we just kept playing with the word, and then roll like you rolling a blunt or something. Like roll in words came about. So we was like rolling words.
So what was the inspiration like about the rolling? Like, so like the weeds, like, do you want, or you just marijuana friendly?
I'm not a big pot smoker. I dabble a little bit, but I'm not really big on it. Like I say, it was just the comfort of my own home. You know, so I say to the level that it's at right now, you know, I didn't imagine it to be where it's at right now. It was just something that I was going to do in my apartment, and went through a breakup and want to do something with my time. And the more and more I added to it, the speakers, the microphones, the clouds and stuff that we all added, it's just like, man, we need to call this something. It's a vibe here. So that's how it started. And that's just really what it was. It was just like, okay, come to Rolling Words, like the Rolling Words room. That's really what it was. Like, let's just come to the Rolling Words room, get your shit out, you know, let's just express ourselves and talk about life and express ourselves in a poet, or even you a rapper, singer. It really wasn't just it really just wasn't confined to poetry. It was just that it was something I do. But if you was a rapper, you know, we had rappers come through there. You know, we had Yoda Artist, which he's one of my co-hosts right now. You know, out there on the West Bank. So he was a rapper. He came through there. You know, we had Daniel Hardaway. He came through. He a rapper. So, you know, we had singers that come through as well too. So it was just really one of them things where people come to express themselves. But then the word got out, started meeting a few people. It just started, you know, getting a little attention, and then we are who we are now.
Okay, look, all right. Because I know some people are like, damn, what this? All right, let me sequence it back 5 people and our listeners, right?
Okay.
Boom. Okay, so let's go back to this apartment.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And this Heartbreak.
Okay.
And we can't just skip over that. Like,
yeah. You
know what I'm saying? Because it's part of your journey, and it's part of what made you or inspired you to keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So the name, Rolling Words Live.
Okay. Right.
Now, apartment poetry, like what made you create your apartment in that, or give it that ambiance, you know what I'm saying, to where like you want people to be around and come party, come have a good time? What made you, like, was it growing up, you being around your family and everybody used to come through your family just giving out good times and stuff like that? Or was it, you know, you just being a youngster, you like, you know what, I'm a people person. I like to be around people. Because like me personally, I'm more of I'd rather be to myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Most of the times I'll be around people to enjoy myself, but you like, man, you know what? I'm going to create a space in my apartment. You know what I'm saying? My living space for people to come in. So let's get back to that. What made you do that?
So I think we had to take it back to where I was born. I was born in Mississippi.
Okay.
Right? So I was born in Port Gibson, but I lived in a little town called Red Lake, off in Mississippi for a few years. And shortly after that, we moved to where I claim Vicksburg. That's why I spent most of my years of living until I moved from there. But Vicksburg, Mississippi. But like before we even got to Vicksburg, Mississippi, my family, we was big on like Michael Jackson, the Prince. We used to have a little dance competition back at Big Mama house.
In
Yeah,
front of the family,
yeah.
They used to have you hitting the Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you was what's that dude name of Major Payne?
Oh, we was big on.
You was Orlando Brown before Orlando Brown.
We was big on Michael Jackson though. Like Prince as well too. But my family has a long history of like singing and dancing, rapping, just musical type of, natural giving gifts. So, my family, we was like that, but I think it was really just for fun though. It wasn't.
Did anybody from your family made it to the professional level? And like, you know what I mean, as far as professional level, as far as singing, dancing, you know what I'm saying? It could be background.
Just church.
Just church.
Yeah, just church and just little family gatherings. That's pretty much
so church for y'all was like,
yeah, I mean for them, me. That's why I used to get my best sleep at, But nah. Shout out to God.
Yeah,
but seriously, like, but yeah, it was just family. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of our families have singers in there. Most of our families have some form of rappers or whatever. It was just
they try.
Yeah, it was just it was just like family stuff. It wasn't nothing that was nationwide or anything. Like they were just us just being a family. And something happened with my family where, odds happened and, we, our family was separated for a long time, from, some nonsense that had happened between, my family and that's when we moved to Vicksburg and then that's where I spent most of my life at. And
how was Vicksburg growing up?
Vicksburg is
because you talking about Mississippi.
Yeah, Mississippi.
And that's one of the, like people look at it as like the worst states in America. That's how people look at it. That's the connotation that Mississippi has.
What that shit called Mississippi burnings, I think. Like people watch one of them slave movies and think they get it. Like Mississippi is. I can honestly say that Mississippi is. It's almost like have you ever had a partner that had a bad attitude? They just say he had a temper. Like he had a temper. But at the same time he was loyal. Or he didn't or he had good ways, but he just had bad ways too. So when I think about Mississippi, I think of like having that type of friend that when somebody say, "Man, Mississippi is bad," like, no, he ain't that bad. It ain't as bad as y'all think it is. Like so it's like, or you could say, "Oh yeah, Mississippi is a safe place." It's not always safe. Right. It's a little bit of both, but it's kind of funny though because racism happened everywhere. Like racism happened everywhere, but Mississippi is just the face of it. It's just the face of it, but it's not like, man, you get your ass beat. Like if you come with that racist shit, I mean, I had racist shit happen to me in Mississippi. I had racist shit happen to me in Texas. I had racist shit that happened to me in Indiana. I had racist shit happen to me here in New Orleans. So it's kind of like it's kind of like it's here. It's not like it's Mississippi. Like people like to think that it's like right in Mississippi.
Would you recommend someone that like, hey, you can live in any state in America? Would you and you had to represent Mississippi? Would you recommend Mississippi to them? And I'm not talking about any part. I'm talking about they can move. They decide, well, you know what? I'm going to go live, along what it is y'all call it, the coast.
Yeah.
Or like, I want to go live, this part. Like, is it safe everywhere from Mississippi? Because I can tell certain people don't go. If you're black, don't go live up north Louisiana.
I would depend on your age. Like, if you want something quiet and you kind of like approach your retirement and you don't necessarily like to get out and party as much or whatever, then yeah, I recommend that. I recommend that for sure. But I feel like if you are someone that's young and you like the nightlife, you want to get out there and go to these concerts or experience the Essence festivals or the big make the ball dropping like in New York City or something like that, then I'll say go travel a little bit. To me, Mississippi, in my opinion, is more so of a retirement state, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad we touched on that.
Yeah. In my opinion.
But like, all right, can we get to this? As far as like, when did you get the poetry bug?
So, what little do people know about me is that when I was growing up, my family called me Tukey. I know it's a family nickname.
Not
Tukey.
like Tookie Williams or nothing
Yeah,
like that.
Tukey
Huh?
Williams. Exactly, Tukey Williams. That was my family nickname.
Well, you was a Crip? Let me
Um,
find out, bro.
nah, it
The
wasn't.
skies are blue.
Nah, it wasn't anything like that. It was just a family name. Before I even knew who a Tukey William was,
Right.
it was just a name.
It's a Southern Tookie.
You
Yeah.
come from a place where I come from a place where you know your nickname before you know your real name.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess you know your nickname before you even know your real name. But yeah. So when I moved to Vicksburg, my mom, she had 7 kids. I was the second of 7.
Wow.
My mom had me at 16 and had my oldest brother at 14.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
So, that was a crazy experience within itself.
So like you have like how was that relationship now?
Me and my mom?
Yeah, y'all
My
close.
mama a gangster. Like it's a funny relationship. It's like 1 minute I'm gonna put it this way, it's not the typical mother and son relationship.
Right.
Obviously, it's love there.
Yeah,
love is there. Like love is there. That's my
But she's
mom.
only 16 years.
Yeah, that's my mom. I love her.
Yeah.
Obviously, she made a lot of mistakes, and but when you get older, you realize that can you blame her? When you're a kid being raised by a teenage mother, and you see the mistakes, you don't really understand why. You know it's wrong, or you know that it's not right, or it's not like this mom or this mom. You understand that portion of it, but you don't fully understand. Even if people tell you like, well, your mom young. I don't know about me. That's my mom. Like I don't. Age doesn't resonate at that moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like she's only this age.
But to me, she's mom.
Yeah,
I don't care how old she is, she's mom.
Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily resonate to me that like this is a child. This is just somebody that's in my opinion selfish, or this somebody in my opinion that's abusive, or somebody that's that's crazy, or
they told Jody, mama need love too.
Yeah, right. But the more and more you get older, and the more that you get into the junior high, you start seeing these women, having babies, and and then you start to think about your mom, because like, damn, my mom was this person,
right.
And you kind of see the struggles that mom must have went through, and they kind of make you not necessarily forgive and forget, just mainly just like kind of like, man, I get it.
Right.
I still feel it from what we went through, or what I went through. I still feel it, but it's kind of like I'm not gonna hold that against you to the point where I disown you.
Right.
Nah, I'll beat somebody's ass if they disrespect my mom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I mean, I might have my ups and downs with her, just growing up, but at the end of the day, that's still mom.
It was you. So 2 boys, right? Or was there more kids?
Yeah. So it was me and my oldest brother.
That's it. She didn't have any more kids after that.
No, she had 7. Yeah, so she had 7.
God damn! So mama,
she had 7. Yeah, she had 7. Me, my oldest brother. Shout out to Spider Crazy 8. He in Arkansas right now. Like he's like one of the gatekeepers up there. He does shows that have thousands of people. He interviewed. I think he just interviewed Kevin Gates, Monica. Who else? He just interviewed Young Jock. He interviewed, like he's like one
doing
of the
his thing.
He's doing his thing up there. So shout out to Spider Crazy. That's my big brother. I love you, bro. But yeah, so yeah, he up there doing his thing. But it was him, then it was me, and then I had my other siblings behind there. But me and him, we was the closest.
Right. So how far are the other 2? Because y'all were 2 years, right?
Yeah, we 2 years apart.
Okay.
And then I have one that's 5 years up under me. Then the other.
So she waited a minute before she had another child.
I mean, if she had me at 16 and 5 years later she's 21, I mean, that's what you call
21 better than 16. Especially you play blackjack.
If that's what you call it,
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But she had 4 boys. And she finally had, a girl. my baby sister, and then she had two more after that. So,
That's cool.
but yeah, so
y'all close?
yeah, I love it. Like I'm it's weird like with my brothers and sisters because it's like we don't talk every day, but we know that we got each other. If that makes sense.
But that's like some of your best partners. You don't talk to your best partner every day.
Right.
But when you holler, he's like, it's all love.
Yeah.
Right.
But I grew we end up moving to this hood called Greenboro. And that's where a lot of my street lessons came in at. That's where a lot of the violence, I guess you should say, start to come in, and having that type of mentality, knowing your surroundings. That's when that all came in at, and yeah, and to get away, we didn't have much. We didn't have cable like that. I mean, at one point in time we did, I guess, but then it kind of goes away.
You're outside.
Yeah, we didn't really. We didn't have the Instagrams and shit like that. Right?
Different era coming up.
So I used to, to avoid the chaos that was going on at home and going on around my environment, I used to write, and at that time I wanted to be a rapper, so I was just going by Tuki, like the my family nickname, and I used to just write. I used to write probably anywhere between maybe 3 songs a day. Yeah, I used to have a trash. Yeah, I used to have a trash bag. I used to have a trash bag full of just rhymes. And a few notes that girls used to give me in school too. I used to have it all in one like trash bag. I used to have a closet full of just raps and notes. So can you be my boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever like that? I used to have all those.
You was the nigga that was writing for everybody in the class, huh?
Nah, hell no.
You ain't writing for everybody in the class? Like,
fuck no.
Tell her yes or no. Check yes, check no.
Listen. I just before text message, you used to get letters.
Yeah, I know you're talking about the song and all that stuff.
So I had that all on lock. He go letter here, letter there, letter here, letter there, come home and write. But no, I had a.
I'm gonna find out you were writing the girl that they draw.
Nah, man.
That's when black people. They talking about black people didn't read. We used to read them letters.
Yeah, them letters. Yeah, we used to reread them motherfucker. Like, all right, cool, and then come back the next day. But yeah, so I used to rap a lot, and I remember the first time that I started rapping. I was I think his name was Mark, some guy in Greenboro. It was me, Banks, rest in peace. B Lane, rest in peace. It was my oldest brother. I think his name was KJ. He was there. It was a couple of us. They was a little older than me, and we were just passing around the mic, and we were just all just freestyling, and we were just having just a good time. And when it got passed the mic to me, I was little did people know I had been writing already. So when they passed the mic to me, I just took off.
Right.
And I took off. Yeah, and I took off, and then everybody was just like, "Oh shit! Like what the fuck? Like yo, Tuka killing and everything like that." And I just remember like for the next hour or so, there was just a talk like that, like Tuka killed that shit. Like it was just a talk, and I think that was the start of my my performance, not poetry, but performance, like performing, and that's just what I always wanted to be. That was my golden ticket on the way out from the shit that I was dealing with at home. I felt like that was my way out.
So like when you wrote, you really escaped into
that's
what you wrote. Did you write like, was it like a ludicrous write, or was it like or was it more of like reality rap? But like what were you writing?
Everything.
What were you listening to back then?
So one thing I credit my mom on, she put us on. My mom, what I can say about my mom, she did not subject us to just hip hop.
Okay.
My mom, she didn't, yes, we know about Tupac, not so much Biggie, but Tupac for sure. Yes, she put us on the Tupac. Yes, she put us on the Scarface. Yes, she put us on the Outkast. Yes, she put us on the just the norm, I guess you should say. She put us on that, but on the flip side of that, she also put us on NSYNC. Justin Timberlake. She put
You
us
was out
on.
there bump. You was out there doing the
Yeah,
bump,
she
bump, bump.
like she put us on Three Doors Down. You know, she put us on the Spice Girls. Like she put us on um uh, shit, you know, the Backstreet Boys. She put us on like, you know, country. Like she put us on like the yes, of course the singing, the Monicas, the R. Kellys,
Mary J.
the
Blige.
Mary J.
Yeah.
Blige and everything. You know, not only did she put us on these, you know, all of these artists, no matter if it was white or black, country, hip hop, R&B, like what was one of those things that she used to do, she used to record back then. We had the VH tapes or whatever.
Yeah.
She used to record music videos, um, especially like Michael Jackson. Like I say, Michael
Yeah.
Jackson. Like you know, he had this special called Ghost, and it was like you know that was like or the Thrillers and shit. She used to record these music videos, and she used to play that for us. You know, and do like a deep assessment on the videos, on how the videos match the songs
Wow.
and how basically how what life happened like using our imagination
Right.
on how life was based off of video. That reason why I get irritated now when I look at videos now because videos don't really match the songs no more.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
that's
right.
why I don't really watch videos no
Right.
more because you know you can have a deep song, but then they do something.
He's playing basketball.
Yeah, complete. They just in the desert rapping. You know, like desert. You know, I guess they showing that they got money, but you know, back then, you know, man, like when Justin Timberlake did "Cry Me a River," you know, that was for Britney Spears, right? You know,
you knew what it was for. He's walking through the house. Like he started,
you know, when Tupac did "Brenda's Got a Baby," you know, you like that's what it was. It wasn't "Brenda's Got a Baby," but you in the club like turn it up, dancing and shit like that. Like no, it was like it was the music,
it was some deep stuff. Yeah,
the music match the music video,
right?
And so that's what allowed me at the time didn't know, but that's what allowed me to be a vision, have a vision on what the hell I'm doing or what the hell I'm talking about.
Right.
You know, that it got to be a meaningful vision behind it, and that's what I did. And I got to a point in my life where I said, man, you know what? I think I was maybe 14 years old. Mm-hmm. I said, man, I want to do a show. I want to do a show.
At 14?
Yeah, I think I was like maybe 14, 15.
And this is after you didn't grab the mic and went crazy on it.
I wanted to do a show.
Wow.
So I wanted to do a show. And, you know, and so I was working at Bumpers. Bumpers is like a hood version of Sonic. And I saved up my tips, you know, flirted a little bit, got a little, you know, got some tips and
got
shit.
A sugar mama.
Yeah, you know, like, here you go, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saved it up. I saved it up. And, you know, got with my mom and told my mom, hey, I got the money for this building over here, this pavilion building. Like, you know, my mom wasn't about to pay for that shit. But she was like, shit, you want to spend your money on it? Fuck it. All right. So she had to go down there and sign for the building.
Right.
It was a big pavilion, you know, and in Vicksburg. And shout out to my boy Big Nardo. That's still like my brother today. He let me use his Rock Band mic. He had a Rock Band mic. I hooked up my Rock Band mic to like this busted up computer, and I recorded a whole mixtape. You know,
how long? How long it took you?
Shit, I was on that shit, so it probably didn't take that long. But I recorded a whole mixtape, and you know
what you called it. You know what you called it?
Yeah, Cape on Hero. I call it Cape on Hero. So funny fact. So my brother, like I said, his name is Spider Crazy 8. But back growing up, they call him Spider Man because of his he could jump and he could he was fast. He was just
athletic. Right.
That was around the time that the Spider Man movies was starting to come out.
Tobey Maguire
and everything. That was kind of like around that time, right? So he was popular. So by the time I came behind him, that's when the Batman movie started to rise, the Dark Knights and the Batman began. That's when when it came about. So when I came on the scene, they was like, oh, this is brother, like, if he's Spider-Man, who you are. So it was just funny they called me Batman. So, it was like, Batman. So you Batman. So it was just funny, to like the community, the people in the school, they called me Batman. So
was Immature out at that time or no?
Huh?
Immature. Remember they used to call Marcus Houston Batman?
Yeah, that was way after.
Okay.
I think that was like in the 80s or
Okay.
early
Yeah.
90s. This is like the early 2000s.
Yeah. I was
Yeah. So this is
I
like
knew.
the
I was
early,
just like. So
yeah,
I was seeing like, was that kind of a?
yeah. This is
But
like
no,
the
it
early
makes
2000s.
sense though. If he's Spider-Man, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. I'm surprised they didn't call you like Green Goblin or something. That was
Nah, he
weird.
wasn't popping like that. So it was Batman, and preferably the white people, they love that shit. Oh, Batman, whatever. But it was funny. So I kind of rolled off of that. So I was thinking, so I was being creative. Now check this out. Like I called my mixtape, my mixtape, Cape on Hero. All right,
Cape
so
on Hero.
Cape on
Why?
Hero. So check it out. So the way that I looked at it was, okay, you got Bruce Wayne,
Mm-hmm.
you got what's the name? Clark Kent,
Clark Kent,
right?
Superman.
Yeah. So you got all of these, superheroes that got capes on, but
Mhm.
outside of their regular life, they just regular people. They
Okay.
just regular,
That's most
yeah,
superheroes,
they just
though.
regular millionaires
Right.
or whatever the fuck they are.
Right.
So, but when they put on that cape, they about to go make a difference. They about to go fight for something. They about to go out there and try to, go against all odds and everything. So,
Oh, when
yeah,
you bring it full circle, because I'm like, where
yeah.
you going with this? I'm like, oh, okay, oh,
so,
okay.
so when I
Cape
had
on
said,
Hero.
so when I said Cape on Hero, that means that I'm about to go out here and try to make a change. I'm about to go out here and fight for something. I'm about to go out here and go against all odds and try to break down whatever it is I got to break
You
down.
ever thought of yourself as like a big quote person? Because as I did my research and I had to stroll through your Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
I seen that a lot of your captions are, if all your captions are just quotables. You know what I'm saying? Great quotes of life, great quotes
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
moments, like, you know what I'm saying? So what you
Yeah.
think those
It's just a feeling.
so
You
like Cape
know,
on Hero, like
Cape on Hero,
so you,
yeah,
like would that be
yeah,
like you know what I mean? Because like I see that you're a good player of words. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? You can capture moments with
I
words.
just always wanted to build. I always
Mm.
wanted to be something, like not necessarily. I wasn't never trying to be too different, but maybe it's the Aries in me. But it just had to feel like I was building something.
Mm.
Like I always had to feel like I was just building something. So when I dropped, Cape on Hero, I was just passing out to everybody. I was just passing out.
Free CDs,
Yeah,
free.
free CDs. Just sloppy with it. My name, took it, Cape on Hero, my number on that motherfucker, and I was just passing it out. Passing it
You
out.
Mike Jones the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, just pass it out. Just pass it. I just wanted to be heard, and it was perceived well.
Did
And
you hold on? Let me ask you this because they speak on this like a lot of the older people when they first started, they had to pass out CDs or whatever, whatever.
mhm.
Like, were you inspired by the game you were given from them, or was it someone around you that said, "Man, look, you should get on this and pass out CDs"?
To be honest, I didn't know nothing about that.
You just did it off of
I
just
just did it off of like, yo, I created something. I want you to hear it.
okay.
Yeah, I didn't see the what everybody else did. I mean, obviously when you look
When you
at
look
life
now,
now,
yeah, in
yeah, you
hindsight,
see how
yeah,
Master P sold $1 million off, out
out
here
of
struggling
Trump,
and shit like
right?
that. But some about living in the hood, some about living in the hood, like I know rappers, it's weird with rappers these days because one minute they say they hate the hood, but then next minute they love the
Love
hood.
the hood,
Like so I guess I somewhat get it, but some about living in a place of survival teaches you so many lessons.
mm.
Like even though that I wasn't selling drugs, I knew how to sell drugs. But
Mm.
I sold drugs with my talent.
Right,
I knew to get people hooked, I need to give them a sample.
right.
I need
You
to
got
give
it
them
like they did coke like
yeah,
back in the
right,
80s.
right.
It gave it away.
I need to give them a
Yeah,
sample
once you
of
hook
whatever
now,
like that.
$20.
There we go. Because everything was building up for this show,
Right.
which I did charge for.
So how was that? Like going to the show, like the day of, were you nervous? Like were you and then afterwards, like how was the door? How was everything like the business wise? Like did you celebrate?
So the day of the show,
Mm-hmm.
once they didn't give it to me on what I wanted. I wanted it on a Friday and Saturday, but they would not give it to me on a Friday or Saturday. The motherfucker gave it to me on a Thursday. They gave it to me on a Thursday, and I was
Which is
like,
the new
fuck.
hot day.
Yeah, but back then
It
it was
went hot.
like,
Yeah.
like no,
Yeah.
and it was booked up for the whole summer. So I had to pick that Thursday.
Mm.
I had to pick that Thursday. So I was like, fuck. So, I just promoted it. I just, was doing my best to, and then it started raining that day. It was like a lot going on.
Yeah, it made you feel,
Yeah, it was a lot going on that day, but it was a pretty, cool turnout. I think, my first show, I think I had maybe anywhere between 50 to 60 people that showed
Would you
up.
say you was in the green or in the red?
What I said, I was in the green or the red?
As far as like
money wise?
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, I can't, from an educated guess, I would say that I probably broke even.
Right.
Just an educated guess.
But as a young kid, your first show,
Yeah,
that's encouraging.
Yeah, because I probably made maybe $400, $500 off that show.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. It was like $400-$500 maybe.
But still,
and I did that show, and like I say, I got some I believe they call it something flight clubs, they did the DJing, for my school, and yeah, bro, like we just did. That was my first show, and I was like probably maybe I was like at that age. Now I think about it, like maybe I was 17, 16. No, 16. I think I was like 16. 16 years old. So yeah, that was a cool time for me, man, to do that show, and little did I know that was gonna help me today.
right.
Because I learned a lot from that show. I learned a lot from that show, and one thing that I learned from that show is that mistakes gonna happen,
Right.
even to today. Even to today, like mistakes gonna happen, and even though the mistakes are going to happen, how you respond to the mistakes is how people are going to respond to the mistakes. And I had to learn that, and but yeah, and that's where, that day specifically, I met she's not my current, she's my ex, but that's when I met her, because she was coming down to Alcorn State, to go to school, and she ended up being there at my
show.
Yeah, she ended up being at my
Was
show.
she in Alcorn State at that time?
She was coming down for like
and when you was 14?
Like, no, like I said, that's why I said I think I was maybe 16 or something like that.
Damn, boy, you was a player, huh?
Yeah, but we didn't date right off the top.
I'm about to say, let me find out, boy.
Nah,
Light skin brothers moving out there in Mississippi, huh?
Hey, come on now. but no, I think we talked like maybe a year or two later after that. But I could honestly say that being with her, is what I needed at that time. What I needed at that time. She had a different outlook on life. She was from Texas. I was in a small town in Mississippi.
And that brings it full circle. So when did you get this apartment?
We just broke up maybe 2-3 years ago.
No. Remember you said you had created the spot to
yeah. So that's about 2-3 years ago.
Oh, so that's
about 2 years ago. Yeah.
Right. So that's when you created the spot. So and like you like people being around you, like I'm not gonna say, I hate to say random people, but people who want to come have a good time. You like being around people who want to have a good time?
Do I like to be around people that I like like-minded people. I like people that's like me, in a sense, that understands life, that understands that you get what you put in, understands have integrity.
So you wouldn't book like a Krishan Rock or something like that to your event?
Yeah, I would, because she sells tickets, because I understand business too.
So you wouldn't mind the chaos that would pursue after?
I mean, I would hope that it's not chaos.
Right.
I would try to create an environment where it's not chaos, but like if it's beneficial, see, the thing is about, and this is where a lot of people fail to realize, is that the big question is when you come to this entertainment industry, is what's your worth? See, it's okay to say your worth is $1 million. I can sit up here right now and I can say, hey man, my worth $1 million.
Right.
How?
It's about what people willing to pay, right?
Yeah. How is my worth $1 million? Like, I mean, I can say it from my own.
Right. Create value.
That I'm worth, $1 million. I can speak into existence.
Right.
But when it all boils down to is your worth is what people are willing to pay for.
Right.
When it boils down to like what's on paper, it's like credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can say that this house right here is worth, $1 million, But once you do the appraisal, you get all the inspectors in it, and they say, well, it's only worth 300. Like well, no, it's worth $1 million. No, like it's worth 300,000. You
Or
can
350 now.
yeah, you can
Yeah.
say that it's worth that to make yourself feel good.
Yeah.
But see, that's the trick about like it's like Beyonce. Beyonce get paid $100 million to do a show, right? But if she get paid $100 million to do a show, best believe that when she do show up at that show, whoever booked her is going to make that $100 million plus
and some.
back.
Yeah.
Views, merch, door sales, liquor sales, food sales, or whatever like that.
You're touching everything.
That venue becomes more known now because people want to perform what Beyonce performed at. So you got long term. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so yes, I would book, someone that sell tickets.
Right.
But see, it's my job to like book somebody that can sell tickets, but it's our responsibility because poetry can be considered not a hot commodity. You can go into a room of let's just say 100 people. You said that you like poetry, but in your lifetime, how many poetry events have you been to?
None, I can say.
Exactly, none. Right? That's the average people that's talking. That everybody loves poetry.
Right.
Everybody loves the ideal of poetry.
Right.
But nobody is showing up at these doors. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's showing up at these doors, not at a level of an R&B concert or a hip hop concert. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, you don't get $10,000. I mean, 10,000 people showing up at a poetry show. We don't got that. You don't got 20,000 people showing up at a poetry event. That's not happening
yet.
But I'm saying on average, that's not happening.
Yeah, on average, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I'm just trying to.
I get that. But that's why I come in at because I feel that with Rolling Words, we can reach them thousands. I feel that way. See, there's a gap, and I'm not trying to give away my formula, but there is a gap with the poetry industry, in my opinion.
Okay.
You might see it. I see a few people that got it, you know what I'm saying? But when I came into this industry, I said, man, like this shit boring. This shit is not entertaining. This shit is not dangerous. It feels like it's like church. And not saying that church is a bad place. I'm just saying that.
But if you go to church, you're not going to be at a Rolling Words where you can smoke, drink, and have a good ambiance. You're going to feel like you're coming in your best church gear. Which, like I said, we want you to be safe, but not, you know what I'm saying? But have fun, loosen up. I get what you're saying.
When you have fun, that's the key word that you just said. Fun is a thin line between fun and being unsafe.
Okay.
When you have fun with somebody, there's a sense of danger that could happen. That's the type of life that we live. When you think about this girl that you probably used to fuck off with and everything like that, and you used to have wild times and everything like that, it was times, I'm pretty sure if you reflect, it was certain things that wasn't safe about it. Maybe y'all used to have sex in front of a parking lot or something, and people walking by or something like that. It probably was entertaining like that. Or maybe she had your blood pumping where you feel like you had to knock a nigga out. Like something of that nature made you feel like, damn, like it's fun, but it's also a tad bit dangerous. So I understand that about life. That reason why, when people say they're toxic, they're not saying that they're toxic because they're like toxic. They say they're toxic because they're saying that they're fun. They're push your buttons. They'll push you to an element of being uncertain on how this shit gonna turn out.
Right.
So me understanding that,
doing things that you wouldn't normally do on your own because of how safe you are in our company or within your bubble, right?
Anytime that I do a show, the first thing I say to myself, can I make it dangerous? That's the first thing I say to myself.
And like when you say dangerous, I know you have a good connotation, but like what do you mean? Like should I add roses or should I spark it up? Should I have a stripper or something like, you know what I mean?
When I say make it dangerous, all of those things. See, Rolling Words is not poetry. It has poetry in it. Rolling Words is it's like you have basketball. You go shoot basketball off the street, right? Basketball anywhere.
Right.
But then you have the NBA. Right? The NBA.
Amateurs and pros.
Yeah. not so much of that. It's
Okay.
just that it's an experience.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So like there's like the big three, the NBA
Yes.
game, or you can say you could be in the same arena as, or the same. You could be in the NBA yourself, but this is the Mavs arena. This is the Pelicans
This is
arena. So you
This
go to different
is
states and
where
stuff.
the stars come out.
Right. This
You
is
know,
LA.
this is where the stars come out. This is where you dress your best. This is where you bring your best. This is where you don't know what the fuck you might get. We had bounce artists at our shows performing. We had the Dom experience where they do like dominatrix and and setting women on fire just throughout our shows and shit like that. We
Wow.
had that. We have comedians, that's roasting people. We have dancers. We have basically what I'm trying to say is that one minute we're giving out champagne, next minute we have a whole soap opera of people that wrote against each other. We have battles. We have who make love better to a woman. Like we have all of that going on. Like you don't know what you're going to get when you come here. You just know that it's going to be you're going to be on the edge. You're going to be on the edge of your seats.
Right.
So that's the reason every show I always try to figure out how can we make this dangerous.
Where can people like? Can you just throw the address out there for them right quick and then?
So we're mobile. We do have a venue, 3349 Cable Drive, and that's in New Orleans. That's the West Bank area, but we have been all over, New Orleans.
So y'all, so how does it work? Like you can come, like say, they have people that love to throw private events. What if there's a person that wants to throw a private event at their home? They're like, but I want the Rolling Words experience. Like you'll be able to come to them and do things like that.
Like they want a private event.
Yeah, or like I'm saying, like or bring like your poets or your poetry to their or your ambiance to their to their private event. You know what I'm saying? For you to say, how does that work also, or is it more if they have to come to you? How does that work?
Man, listen, money talks. If you want me to bring an experience to wherever event, then just be willing to have a conversation with me. That's all. Just a simple conversation. Tell me what you're looking for because we have everything. We have poets, singers, rappers, we have dancers, we have comedians, we have a band, we have DJs, we have whatever you're looking for. This is a one-time shop. So if you want that, then just let me know and we'll make it happen. See, that's the thing is with me, I understand the importance on I look for yeses. I can't stand people that looks for no. Like I'm gonna be honest with you right now. If you call me, if you're with me and you got some type of form of business together, let's just say dealing with something else. Let's not even say dealing with Rolling Words. If you are one of those people that you're so quick to say no, that ain't gonna work, chances are I'm gonna do it without you, or I'm gonna be cutting ties with you at some point. Because
okay, no, go ahead.
Because
I like that.
Because it's like if you're looking for even if you're just considering it, let me just think about it. See, I hate that about people. People do not give themselves enough time to think. They feel like they got to answer it right there.
Right.
With me, if somebody comes to me and everything like that, I'm like, let me sit on it. And we should be okay with that. We should be okay with just saying, let me sit on it, let me think about it, let me process it, let me figure out how it can work. So when you come back to the table, you can say, hey, I thought about it. This is the only way that I can see it working.
Right.
But you're still not saying no. You're saying
you're giving it thought.
You're giving it thought.
Right.
But if somebody just like, nah, man, they ain't gonna work. Nah, man. Only way that I would do something like that if there's some form of disrespect involved.
And you want to prove a point.
Yeah, if there's some type of disrespect involved, then I can be that way because it's like I just don't like you as a person. I just don't like you as a person. I don't like your I refuse to work with somebody that's so easily driven off of being disrespectful. Nah, I don't play them type of games, man.
I agree.
I cut people off easy.
Right.
And I feel like we should be okay with that. It's some people that, some people it's not your type of people. I give people the absolute respect. I give people, it's dangerous how much I give people respect. But I promise you, if you disrespect me in any shape or form, and I didn't, especially if I didn't deserve it,
Right.
I'm not about to sit up here and like I changed my life around, man. I'm not about to sit up here and say I'm about to pull up on you or I'm about
Right.
to like, put my hands on you when I see you or like, man, come on now, we grown.
Right.
But my absence is going to be felt.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Because when it's something about when you do somebody wrong,
Right.
it hunts you.
In a karma type of way, right?
It hunts you. Because when you do somebody wrong and it doesn't break that person and that person still moves on with life
and they move past you,
it reminds you like, damn, like I could have done that differently.
Right.
Or I could have done it. You could always apologize, right? I mean, you could always apologize.
But that's not the easiest thing to do for a lot of people.
Exactly.
Or the intent, you know what I'm saying? Don't just apologize because it's going to benefit you. Right. Apologize because it's going to clear your conscience and you really feel that, hey, I really feel like I was wrong.
Listen, I have no problem with apologizing to the point where, like, if I know that I was even a small percent wrong, I don't mind even like you could have done 9 things wrong, 9 out of 10 things wrong. I did that 1 out of 10 things wrong. I will still apologize for that. Man, you know what? I apologize to you, bro. I thought about it. That specific department, that situation right there, bro. You know what? I shouldn't have done this. Even though I'm not saying anything about what the fuck you did.
Right.
But at that part right there, I'm so big on apologizing. I just wish that it'll be normalized because it would save so many relationships.
Right.
It would save so many situations or whatever. Just saying, man, my apology. You know how many people that died at a club just for stepping on somebody's shoes, and all they had to say is, "Man, my bad, my bad, folks." My bad. Or I try to holler at your female, didn't know it was yours. Hey, man, that's my meat. Hey, my bad. No disrespect, didn't know.
Right, she by herself.
Yeah, my bad, didn't know. You know what I'm saying? She ain't say it. She knows. She ain't tell me what it was. Okay, cool. Now of course you got ignorant people, right? Cool. But for the most part, I just feel like just a simple, my bad, I apologize, could save so many relationships, no matter if it's business, no matter if it's personal. And man, up and just apologize. If you was wrong, you was wrong. And that's just how I feel about it. But there's no respect for the disrespect for me.
And I'm with you on that one. Yeah. But going to the rolling, I want to go back to rolling words, right?
Okay.
And like remember we talk about, like you say, for the right conversation, you know what I'm saying, things, you can make things happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's never really a no. It's let me think about it. Right. So we're going back to that is what made you think about just taking a avenue that most people look at as like if you like they look at you like you're crazy, like dude, like poetry is, they look at it as a dying art. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Right. How are you gonna bring it back? What do you like? What inspires you to go into this field?
So when I was there's a part of my life where it goes back to my ex. Mm-hmm. She was someone that was in my life that made me believe that I was more than where I was currently in that city. She inspired me to change my ways. The person that I am today would not be if it wasn't for her. She was somebody that was like, yo, like, you don't have to sag your pants. You don't have to talk in this thuggish, arrogant.
You talking to a white girl? Yeah, the white girl on.
That for you to say that a white woman was the reason why that I changed my life around.
No, I'm just saying. No, look at it like this, son. She said thuggish, son. You said thuggish. I'm like, only white people say thug.
No, but she was not a white woman.
She was light skinned enough.
She was blacker than you. She was blacker than you. I can give you a picture of her right now. She's darker than you.
No,
but no, she was just like I say. she was from.
So she was inspirational.
She was just a different. She just was in a different world,
right,
than what I was used to. You know, she was. You know, she was in that. She was in college. She was heading to college. She was.
Right.
She was. You know, that's how her parents, her teacher, her mom was a teacher.
And she saw you in a different light. She
Yeah.
made you feel different. She made you feel bigger than.
She gave me an option. That's what she did. She was
mean?
like, crime, wealth. If you do this, this was going to happen. But if you do this, this can happen. I was used to dealing with women that wanted me to like fight. I was used to dealing with women that wanted me to defend their honor in a violent way.
Right.
She was the first woman that I talked to that made me be like, why would you do that? Like, it was like I'm like, no, I'm showing you that I care about you. I'm showing you that I love you. Like, this is the way that a man shows a woman, like, no.
But what happened?
Yeah, like
did y'all just come to different paths or?
So I ended up working at Nissan. I was working at this Nissan plant. I was working 2 jobs. I was working a job at Nissan in Canton, Mississippi, and then I was working at in restaurants in Vicksburg. So I was having 2 jobs to try to make ends meet. I had my own place at like 16. I was
I can trust me.
Yeah,
you was rolling, bro.
Yeah, I was living by myself around that time. Had my little trailer or whatever. And I was driving back and forth, and then anxiety started kicking in. I don't know how that stemmed from. Anxiety. I started getting like a small case of anxiety, and so when I went to the hospital just to see, what's this, coming from, the doctor asked me what's my schedule. I said okay. Well, I said that I get up, I get up at 11 o'clock. I'm sorry. I get up at 9 o'clock to be at work at 10, and then I work till 5 o'clock. Then I get off at 5. Then I go home, and then I rest, and then I get up at 6, so I could be at work at I believe it was like 8 o'clock, and then I drive all the way to Ken, which is about an hour away, and then I make it to work around 9, and then I get off at 5, and then I basically do it all over again, just basically. And he was just like, he closed his book. He was like, he said, why are you working so hard? He said, what is it like? Do you have kids? I said, no. He said that. He said, why did he say, you're going to kill yourself, right? He said that because you're not getting enough sleep. You're not getting enough sleep, and you're driving up and down that, like, you're going to pass, like, you're going to faint. Like, I'm letting you know now that's what's going to happen to you. So at that time, her at that time, she was always a big advocate on like, hey, you need to go back to school. You need to go back to school. Keep in mind, I dropped out of school. Right. And
16, get your own apartment with 2 jobs.
So somewhere down the line, I ended up getting my GED, and Alcorn State was offering sign up for the university at the mall in Vicksburg. Just so happened that it was, in Vicksburg, and she took me down there, and we signed up, and I just didn't really know what I was doing. Just trying to find a different way out, and they gave me a schedule. It was like, all right, here you go, and I was like, fuck, I'm in college. The fuck, it was literally just, it was really just that simple, and I was like, damn, and got in there, and I looked at that as a second opportunity of life, because I understand I'm probably like maybe 21, 22 now, so I'm looking at this as a second chance at life,
right?
And so I was able to get enrolled in Alcorn, and it was in the same school she was going, but she was graduating that year. Like, this is years past by now. Like, so she was graduating. So the year that I got enrolled, that's the year she was graduating. So after that, she went to Nashville to pursue a master's degree, and I was here at Mississippi. So we just did the long distance relationship, and that's when I reinvented myself to Ron, to who I am today. I reinvented myself. I took school serious. I always sat at the front of the class. I made the dean list. I got several internships. I didn't play no games, and a lot of people in the classroom, they looked at me as like, oh damn, like, this guy right here is the real deal. But not understanding that shit, I was running off of being scared, because I was like, bro, I don't want to go back out there. I don't want to go back where I came from. you know, and I'm trying to keep up with them because most of them went from junior high, high school, college.
The normal route.
Yeah, I dropped out of high school the first year I went, so
Right.
I've been out for years. So for me to be at a university, it was scary to me because I'm like, man, like I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm a fighter, so I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight, you know, and that's basically what happened. Then you're just trying to survive.
And you always been writing. You always
Yeah.
been writing, and it's like you still been writing at this time.
Yeah, no, I stopped.
Wow.
I stopped music because I couldn't enjoy it no more.
Because you were working so much?
It was I stopped doing music because I felt that I couldn't enjoy it no more because every time that I listened to music, I felt like that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I couldn't just listen to like T.I. or I couldn't listen to Jeezy, you know, Trap or Die. I couldn't listen to these rappers and think to myself, man, this shit go hard. I was looking at it like, man, I need to write a song just like that. Like it became an assignment. Yeah, it's supposed to be an assignment. So it like in my like mentally, I couldn't let it go.
Right.
So it became too much work for me, and I just became depressed when I started listening to music. So I just stopped completely, and for years, and I had a oral communication class, and we had to write something that was kind of like confrontational, like a controversial type of thing. But we had to come up with our own formal way of doing it. It was like for our final grade. So I didn't really know what to do. I mean, I was just trying to go ahead and get out of the classroom. So I decided to write. In my mind, it was a rap, but I say, you know what? I could turn it into this piece where I'm kind of like talking, not even understanding that I'm doing poetry.
Right.
Not even understanding that. I don't know too much about poetry. Just was like, okay, I can write this, and you know, and that my first piece that I ever wrote was it was called the Daily Generation.
You remember it?
Yeah, I performed it last Saturday.
Spit it right quick, if you don't mind.
I don't want a relationship, but I'm going to tell you the opposite. See, I want you to see me, but not me, which is the guy that you're currently with. Because little do you know, after sexual intercourse, my heart will shift, and you be just another chick that's on my hit list. See, I would sit back and converse with you on how all the guys are alike. Then I persuade you to feel and believe that's not the way I live my life, because I'm different. I win your heart, I win your trust when I sit back and listen. Not saying what you're saying isn't real. I just got time to kill. You got a nice ass. I'll be the man of my man knew I smash. So is you ready? I'm ready. I've been ready. Something so deep, something so deadly. Generation after generation, we had the same mentality. We wonder why we can't control our families. Little boys growing up without their fathers. Little girls growing up with insecure mamas. Fellas, we young. We'll find another woman, of course. But what happens when you find a woman that put her feelings before yours because she don't want a relationship, but she want to tell you the opposite? She wants you to see her, but not her, which is the girl that you're currently with. Because little do you know, after sexual intercourse, her heart will shift, and you be just another sucker that's on our hit list. She'll sit back and converse with you on how all the girls are like. Then she'll persuade you to feel and believe that's not the way she live her life because she's different. She'll win your heart. She'll win your trust when she sit back and listen. Not saying what you're saying is real. She just got time to kill. You got a lot of cash. She be the girl if a girl knows she joined your jag. So is you ready? She ready. She been ready. Something so deep, something so deadly. The Daily Generation. And that's what I wrote.
How they do it?
You know, and that's what I wrote. It was just, you know, it was a previous conversation that I did in that classroom where it was like, who do women who cheat, who hurt, who do who wrong? Like, do men do it or do women do it? So, you know, I went off that energy and I was inspired to write that. I said the Daily Generation that we live in is that regardless of however you look at it, somebody been hurt.
Right.
And somebody's gonna hurt somebody else. And that's the reason why I started off with saying I don't want a relationship, but I'm going to tell you the opposite. I want you to see me, but not me, which is the guy that you're currently with. Because little do you know, after sexual intercourse, my heart would shift, and you would be just another chick that's on my hit list. So I would sit back and converse with you on how all the guys are alike. But I persuade you to feel and believe that's not the way I live my life because I'm different. I win your heart, I win your trust when I sit back and listen. Not saying what you're saying isn't real. I just got time to kill. You got a nice ass, but I'd be the man if my man knew I smashed. So is you ready? I'm ready. I've been it, but when I circle back around and I say that, you know, what happens when you find a woman that put her feelings before yours because she don't want a relationship, but she want to tell you the opposite. She wants you to see her, but not her was the girl that you. So it basically shows you the cycle repeats itself.
Right.
Like, you know, like every person that hurt somebody been hurt before.
Right.
So, you know, that was my way of telling that classroom that, you know, yo, we all hurt each other. And that's the reason why I call it the deadly generation, because this is the generation that we live in. You know, we all hurt each other. You know, and I got an A out that class, so
Yeah, so you spin stuff like that, yeah, bro.
I got an A out that class.
I took a poetry class, and I'm trying to get this one Michelle Silverstein. You know what I'm saying?
And when I did that, I kind of got like, it was like a standing ovation in class. Like people that was at odds with each other. Like it literally brought people that was at odds with each other. You know, that didn't fuck with each other, and it brought them together.
That's what great art does.
And,
you know what I'm saying?
And that's a feeling that I didn't have since that show that I had at first. And it brought back that feeling of like, wait a minute. What is this? Is it poetry? Is it spoken words? Huh. Okay. I graduated, graduated top of my class, country boy, ghetto boy, with a GED, graduated from university. And I moved to Houston, Texas. Me and her moved together to Houston, Texas, back to her hometown. And
so she had a big ass, huh? I hate to say it, but I'm sorry, but women from Houston usually have a big ass, a natural big ass. And this is not from the Megan Thee Stallion or something. This is from me just going to Houston and seeing a lot of women with a big ass.
See, this is around the time that
she was tall.
Nah,
one of the two.
This is one of the times that COVID started to happen too.
Okay.
So I didn't really get out as much in Houston. I did a little bit, but not as much.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about your girl.
Oh man, I'm not about to speak on her, man.
She had a big ass.
Hey, I'm not about to speak on her.
Oh, the smile tells it all, man. She had a big ass. You see that big ass?
She had a big heart.
Yeah, and I asked to go with it. And I asked to match. She had a big heart, and I asked the man. That girl knew how to shop, boy. But nah.
But yeah, so we go to Houston. We go to Houston, and now I'm kind of looking for poetry spots now. Because now
is it bigger in Houston than it is Louisiana?
To me, I feel like Houston is everything's just bigger in Houston.
Pause. Yeah.
Everything is just bigger in Houston. Like from what you gotta understand. I don't know nothing about Louisiana. I went from Mississippi
to Texas, right?
So that's my first time. I remember my anxiety was through the roof just to live, just go to a city that's of these big buildings and everything like that. So it was a
nice.
Lot. Yeah,
those state taxes.
Yeah, it was crazy up there. But I graduated, started working for this company. I do international trade. That's my job that I do. Do vessels. So I work for this grain. I work in the grain industry. I study agribusiness, and so just I didn't need no beat, so I wasn't a slave to a beat. Let me find a beat. I can just get up there and I can really talk about real content. Right. And that's where I started to find this new form of interest in poetry. And I was like, okay, cool. I can get up here and I can speak about my life, speak about situations, and I can. And I wrote this poem called Mama Dream, and and it was about my mom, and when I wrote it about my mom and I performed it for the first time in Houston, I just got a crazy response from it. It was crazy, and like I say, it was just little things that we were just going to, and we ended up. I stayed up there for a few years, and then I moved down here. And she was a teacher up there in Houston, so she had to. So we was kind of separated a little bit, and I think at that time, we was running to little problems, with, it was career choices. It was just little bickering back and forth. I'm not about to sit up here and say that she was in the wrong or I was in the wrong. I think that ultimately we was kids when we first met each other, and I think that we loved each other to the point where we forgave each other for every little thing that we did. But even though that we forgave each other for every little thing that we did, we didn't fully know how to correct it moving forward. It's like, listen, I love you, I ain't going nowhere. You love me, I ain't going nowhere. But how do we correct it? So that was kind of one of the things that I feel like ultimately that we couldn't do. And and I got love for her today. I consider her family today. Like,
y'all still communicate. You're still
cool?
Yeah.
That's
like You say she from Houston. You went and you moved to Houston.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What that boy Drink said, all access backstage pass. You can go whatever with that ass.
No, like she's somebody that I can't, no matter who I'm with.
Yeah.
No matter who I'm with, who I marry, who I end up being with, like, they just got to understand that this person right here took a chance on me, and this person was 10 years of my life.
Right.
And took a chance on me and helped me be the man that I am today. So I'm just big on loyalty.
Give her props.
Yeah, I got
you gotta give her props.
Regardless of, I don't care who she end up with. It ain't like that with us. Like, I moved on, she moved on, but that's she still have a piece in my heart that she earned.
Yeah, because she helped you get into what you're doing. I'm saying, like, help you aspire to chase your dream. Like, you know what I'm saying? There got to be a love for that. Like,
and I know a lot of people don't understand. Like, I'm gonna just put it this way: women probably won't understand that, because obviously, who won't? Like, they probably don't want no other woman like having that type of
power
I guess
over
you could
their
say
man.
power over their man, but
Right.
it's not power; it's honesty. There's a difference. I can sit up here and say all day long, like, yo, I got hit by myself. I believed in myself. I did this all by myself. Yes, I guess you could say from a execution standpoint, I guess you should say, like, yeah, I did it by myself. But just to have that person that only person at the time of my life, you gotta understand, like, my mom, we wasn't, my dad, he never been in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the only thing I had was just a few here or there, but nobody fully said, you know what, let's pause everything, let's stop everything.
Right.
You can do this. Like, no, I'm going to do this with you. Like, I'm going to show you the steps on how to get to the next step. Now, even though that I took that and I ran with it, but you can never,
can't forget the
ones that, you can't ever do
the one that set that fire. You just,
like, it's, you can sit up here all day long and say, yo, you did it yourself. But, you got to look in that mirror.
Truth of the matter is you didn't.
Yeah. And everybody needed help.
Everybody needs help.
And and it's okay to say that you needed help. And I needed help. And she was the one that gave me help. And even though that we parted ways, the beauty thing about us parting ways, it was never like I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, hate you. Like, no, like, nah, like when I help her, get situated, help her move. I help her find a place,
What you told her? You said, I'm light skinned. I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
No.
I'm gonna go back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I remember that whole Chris Brown light skin era thing. So I know you had your run in the early 2000s, and in the 2010s, y'all had y'all run.
I'm gonna be honest with you with that, with the whole light skin thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. My experience was not the same as, because I'm not saying that it's not true. It just wasn't the same. Where I'm from, light skin wasn't as popular as the dark skins.
Right. I
know that's my oldest brother is dark skin. He had all the women. That's around the time that Lil Wayne was popping, like when he was a kid.
Yeah.
The kids with the braids and everything. That's around the time that he was popping. See, me, I was considered big head, big lips. Like, like I wasn't really considered cute. Like, I wasn't, I'm gonna just put it away. I wasn't getting no hoes. I wasn't getting no, like, it was
man,
him.
You should have been in Louisiana. I was getting killed. I wouldn't.
It wasn't popping like that, like, even like, so, when, like I say, even with my ex, like, she used to talk about, the challenges that she faced when she, for being dark skinned and everything like that. I used to, like, not really pay attention, because I was like, girl, since you've been living down here, you always got some niggas that's trying to come and holler at you or whatever like that. I always got to look over my back to like that, because she was pretty. But yet you have problems, like, girl, I don't want to hear it. Right, that's how I looked at it. But the soon I realized that, there is a whole world out there that I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. There's a and I had to learn that. Even though that I have some interest in you, and the average person should have interest in you, or, no matter if it's from a working standpoint, from a relationship standpoint, whatever, like, I had to learn that, just because the light skin thing didn't benefit me,
right,
and my own personal
benefit a lot of these other brothers,
but it benefit a lot of other people.
Chris Brown had them rolling. I didn't have a chick tell me, "You ain't Chris Brown."
Yeah, and it just wasn't my reality. like every dark skinned person that I can think of growing up had it going on. No matter if it was from a male or a female standpoint. They had the niggas, they had the women, they had the money, they had the swag, they had the styles. Like, they just had it. Dark skinned boys where I'm from, they was considered the pretty boys.
I need to move where you from.
Yeah, they used to have the earrings, the wave, the polo, they used to have. So it was confusing to me because and a lot of women like my brother. So it was so confusing to me, like that. When I got to a certain age where they was telling about the light skin, like, man, you could be light skin. I'm like, man, what are y'all talking about? But
then you start to see some of the benefits.
Well, no, not that. It was just I learned that my life is different from other people's, and I had to be able to. Everybody has trauma, and I had to be able to respect their trauma. Like that's what basically what happened.
And I had to respect yours.
I had to respect their trauma. So and I can't justify my own trauma and disregard yours.
Right.
I can't say I didn't have that experience, meaning like you didn't have it. Like no, like I couldn't do that.
It's just two different.
We just had two different situations. We had two different cards that's been dealt. But
let me ask you this: what do you have coming up? Like anything coming up soon that you want to get out to the people?
Yeah. So we're gearing up to do another Rolling Word show.
Because we're in February right now. We're gearing towards to knock up March. So like what we have going on?
We got something it's gonna be at the end of March, at the beginning of wait a minute, what is it, February, April? So we either talk about the end of March or the beginning of February. Reason why, we pay attention to the market. So usually I give myself 30 days to prep and do a show to make sure that the market is right.
Right.
And because Easter, I believe, is on the 31st, that kind of messes up the market of doing it at the end of the month. Okay. So, we either fighting to check, because we normally always do it on Saturday. So, we can either fight to do it at the end of this month on a Friday, or just wait that next week after Easter and do it the first Saturday of April.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this while you're on camera. I'm going to lock in. I'm giving my word, right? I'm going to come in with this camera, right? I'm going to vlog an experience.
Okay.
Of that date that we're talking about right now, just to give our rooted people an experience.
Y'all hear that, right? Okay.
So when they come out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my team.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Come on with it.
And like I said, I already know it's gonna be a great time. I see the videos on Instagram and stuff like that. I already know it's gonna be a great time.
Follow me under Ron_Lyrix. That's RON_LYRIX.
And also for
Rolling Words Live. Rolling Words Live. That's ROLLNWORD_live.
You know what I'm saying? And man, first I want to thank you for coming out, bro. Let me come to your beautiful crib.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you for
listen. Hey, and I don't know if we're wrapping up, but I just want to say this to people out there, because I know we got more interviews that's coming. Bank it all on yourself. Bank it all on yourself. It's some about banking everything on yourself. No matter if you win or lose, you still win. Because if you lose, you can be able to assess why you lost. And then next time you can win. If you win, then you won and you did it by yourself. So don't wait on the people to knock on your door. Don't wait on people to come to you and tell you, hey, this is what you should be doing, or this is what you can't do. Like, if you listen to anything that's in this interview, I didn't wait on nobody. If you listen to anything in this interview that I have said, because I know there's more to be coming, but if you listen to anything that I said, like, I didn't wait on somebody to come to me when I was a kid to say, okay, like, hey, you hot, bro, come do a show. No, I worked my ass off and I bought the building myself and I did the show my damn self.
Let me ask you this. How did you find your poets and your bounced artists and your comedians and stuff like that? Like, how did you network with them?
How did I find the poets? That's funny. To be honest, I can't really necessarily tell you. I just know that when I did it at my apartment, when I built Rolling Words at my apartment, I was just finding hashtags, and I was like, poets in New Orleans, NOLA, poets, and whatever. And I was finding people, and I was reaching out to them. Hey, come to my crib to get recorded. They're like, what? Like,
That's the culture.
They're like, what? Like, what? Come to your what?
Oh, you light skin.
Like, what? Like, wait a minute. Like, nah, they was like, shout out to my girl B Blunt. She was like, wait a minute, you want to come to your what to do what? Like, what are you talking about? So
you're not my nigga.
Mm-hmm. So it was like it was that type of energy at first, but you keep trying, somebody gonna come. And then when they seen it, they was like, "Oh shit!" Because I had it so decked out. They was like, "Oh shit, this is like a real deal." Like this is like you got speakers. I had chairs, I had everything in that motherfucker. Like, and I was like, "Damn!" It was like, "This is pretty dope." And if you look at my recaps of my shows, I typically always at the end show you like a little recap. Like I show you where we are now, but at the end of the video, I'll probably show you like a clip of where we started, just to remind people. And that just led to, okay, come see what the vibe is like. Mm-hmm. I actually do have a poetry. Shout out to Miss Metacolic. She was the male. She came there. She saw it. She thought it was dope. So she invited me to a poetry event that she does at Tacos and Beers. That she was part of this group called the Nola's Arts Crew, the Nat Crew. And I went there and I performed, and and they loved it. The people that was there loved it. And then when I started showing them my place, they didn't know it was even my apartment. They just thought it was they just thought it was a venue. They thought it was a building. They didn't know, because the way it looked, it didn't look like an apartment. Yeah, it didn't look like an apartment.
Right.
So they was like, "Yo, I'm gonna help you build this. I'm gonna help you that." Yeah, like that's and they. Long story short, I ended up being a part of this group of poets, and and then the rest is history, and that's when I just started performing. I started to kind of get to know other people and their own platforms, and who's serious about this, who's really doing it, who's just talking or whatever, and I started to figure out my own lane, and I started to perform and start to meet certain people. And next thing you know, I ended up at this meeting at this venue. It was Club Annex, and they was having a conversation with Joe and
Joe Rogan, Joe Budden.
Nah, Joe. I think his name is Joe Johnson. I think that's his name.
The basketball player.
Let's see. Now you got me looking up Joe. What's your last name? Now you got me looking up.
I'm thinking you talking about Joe Johnson, the basketball.
Look, I feel bad that I can't think of what Joe name.
Joe, man, when he sees
Joe Johnson. I thought I was right. But anyway, so there was a conversation with Joe, and he had a club out. Joe had a Club Annex, and keep in mind, I'm still the rookie, to this group. And I do this because, and I say why I say I'm the rookie of this group, because we're talking to Joe, and Joe trying to build his club, trying to build his club. But at the time, Ro, he was one of the person that was in the group. He had the Maison, downtown. That's where he was doing his little shows at. Then you had Tacos and Beer. That's where they were doing their little shows at. And then you had
all in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Okay. That downtown town.
Yeah, Honda Wanda. That's where he was doing his little shows at. My boy Yo. That's where he was doing his shows at. He had Tobias. I forgot. I think he was doing his at Honda Wanda too.
Bro.
So all of them had their own like little areas that they was doing their thing. So here I am at this little area where I'm just like, okay, I'm just kind of just playing my role, because I really don't know what to even say, because I'm new here. I'm doing it at my apartment. They got their own relationship. They already got their own relationship with other businesses. They already got their partnerships and shit, whatever like that. So I'm listening to them talk to Joe, and they talking. I'm listening to them talking. So he was like, so when we going, so when it was all said and done, there was like, Joe was like, all right, so when we plan on doing this, when y'all plan on coming over here doing a poetry, like when y'all plan on doing it? It was like, well, I got over here. I ain't trying to mess that up. Or I got over here. I ain't trying to mess that up. They make their phone calls. Hey, you want to do a show over here? Nah, I can't smoke it. Oh, we can't smoke. Okay, well, and I was just sitting there. They were just like, "Hey, Ron, you want this spot? You know what? What if you want it? Like, what if you do it and everything like that?" Back in my mind, I already calculated. I already seen the room. I already seen how I was going to do it. I already calculated because I knew it was about to happen.
Right.
And so, you had to put up and shut up. Y'all say we can do a poetry show. Can y'all do it? Y'all can't do it. Who can do it? So he saw what I done in my apartment. Right. He was like, "Oh, like he could bring that here." Okay, cool. And that's what happened. I ended up like just not looking for no. Like, I was tired as hell to get up that day to go over there to that meeting. Right. But like I say, I don't work with people that look for no's. Right. I could have easily said I got work the next morning, or I'm tired, or I've been working all day. I said, man, you know what? Let's see what happens. And that's what happens. And I ended up, getting his show and I know that, not look how time happened.
Right.
I got an opportunity, same way like when I went to college, and I said, man, listen, I'm not going back out there.
Right.
So I looked at that opportunity and I said, man, I'm about to make this the best, biggest show, because they kept saying that, oh, it's on the West Bank. That's what's going to be hard because, nobody crosses that bridge.
Right.
From the heart of New Orleans to the West Bank. Nobody does that. So, it's going to be already hard with you to get to have people that come all the way over. But I was just like, okay. So back in my mind, I said, okay, so we're going to make them come over. We're going to create, I am going to create something that is so
dangerous
that they're going to have to see the curiosity is gonna be like, man, like
how the hell strippers work with
like,
poetry?
Like what is this? What is this? And it was before I even made my themes. It was just rolling words itself.
Right.
And I'm like, you think I'm just basing it off of just New Orleans? Like, no, like I had people that came from Texas, that I built relationships with and everything. Right. I got people that's coming from Mississippi that I got relationships with and everything. So I was bringing not only just New Orleans out, but I was bringing my relationships out, right. To bring it to this, this platform, and end up being, I learned a lot from that show too, and I know we could talk about it at a later date. Yeah. But fast forward now, I'm doing shows at Joe's Spot, at Annex, and then I start doing shows other places that people just wanted to pick up and everything. And just fast forward later, like maybe like a year later,
right?
Joe ended up getting rid of that spot and getting another location, which where we at right now. It's called Club Legacy. And he jumped on the phone with me. He said, man, listen, Ron. He said, I see the way you're doing things. I like the way you do things. You knocking out the park. Let's be partners on this building. And X, Y, and Z. That's why I have my own lounge now.
Right.
So
right.
So, but if I would have just said, nah, I'm tired that day, don't want to come out that day and everything, then a year later, I won't have my own lounge. That's just how that works.
That's how it works.
Bet it on yourself. Stop waiting on people to tell you, yeah, you can do it. I don't wait on nobody to tell me yes. If you tell me no right now, I'm going to go find my yes.
Right.
Go and find your yes. If you want it to be done, either do it your damn self or find with people that want to be. One thing about my boy Big Nardo always tell me, work with people that want to work with you. If you work with people that want to work with you, I promise you're going to get there. If you want to work with people that's going to give you a hard time, or telling you nah, or telling you like, yo, like, this such and such and can't do this such and such, man, do that shit anyway, man. Do that. Like, what if somebody would have told you, like, right now, man, like, don't do this podcast thing. Like, nah, such and such doing it. Such and such doing these interviews. Such and such doing these podcasts and stuff like that. Like, man, we won't be sitting here today.
Right.
We won't be sitting here today, man.
Right.
My life and how I made it this far is literally just sprinkles on the cake, because I didn't think I could make it this far. I didn't make it this far, so I'm having a good time. Sometimes it's stressful. I spend a lot of money on my shows and everything, and I'm here to tell you and anybody else that if you look at my page and my shows, I have done, I think, as of right now, I think we're on our 12th or 13th, maybe 14th show. Out of all of those shows, I have probably spent anywhere between a stack to 2,500 of my hard working money to do these shows. No matter if it was dealing with a building, no matter if it was dealing with, a band, dealing with, commercials or whatever like that, no matter what dealing with, whatever it is to take this platform to the next level.
Mm.
And it's only out of 14 of those shows, 13, 12, 12, 13, 14 of them shows, I can say it with confidence that I only made some money to put in my pocket one time.
So you're doing it out of love. It's not
One
out of...
time. Only one time that I had just enough in my pocket just for me to break home. When you starting your own company, you have to build up your portfolio.
Right.
Before you remember how we said about that conversation where you said knowing your worth?
Right.
See, the man with the gold makes the rules. And you got to understand that, once you start getting them people that understands your formula, that like your formula and understand your product, and now they hook. Now you got what you call a following. So right now, if my show that just say, me having one of the biggest poetry shows in the city currently,
right,
I'm reaching over 120, 130, 140, 150, people that's coming to my shows,
right.
You gotta think about it. You times that by 10. I had overall over 1,000 some people at my shows in the past year,
right?
Which is unheard of when it comes to poetry.
Poetry in the South,
right? When it comes to poetry, not saying that is that there's a million platforms out there, that's dope. There's a million platforms out there that's in Texas, that's in Atlanta, like that's dope. This is not a competition.
right?
I'm just speaking on for my results of starting something and finishing it. That now when you have your following, if you know right now that if they just say 50 people times $20, 50 people times 20 is 1,000.
Right.
If on average you have 50 people that come to your show, you're confident that
you're gonna make $1,000.
You're gonna make $1,000 at my show. Then you know your worth. Then you know your worth. So somebody say, "Hey, I want you to come and do a rolling word show and everything like that at my club order like that." Then you could say, "I'm gonna need at least that."
Right.
That's when you have those receipts and everything like that. That's why we in this office. I have a receipts of every sign in, every email, and everything. Like that's why that's how you. And I'm giving the game. I'm giving the game for free.
Right.
For you to get paid for what you do, you have to know how many tickets you sell. If it was based off of talent, we'll all be successful.
Right.
There's a million people that can sing better than Beyonce, but can you outsell Beyonce? Can you sell the same tickets as Beyonce? You have to get that following. You have to get that people that believe in you. You have to get out there and find them like-minded people that believe in what you're doing. And once you find those people that believe in what you're doing, then it becomes supported. It's people out there right now. My Instagram for Rolling Words got probably 600 views. 600 followers. My platform for Rolling Words right now only got 600 followers. Right? There are poetry platforms out there worldwide that has over 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 followers, but can't get 50 people to come to their show.
But they can make it look good.
So if my followings do not match my shows, then what's the point?
What's the point?
What's the point? Like, who I'm trying to impress here? Like, I'm proud of my 600 followers that I got. You know why? Because they all active.
That's 600 that's gonna show up.
That's 600 that's gonna show up. Like when you're doing your business, they always say anywhere between 10 to 15, 20% gonna show up.
Right.
So if you got over 20,000 followers or some shit like that, then 10% of that's supposed to show up. If you can't even get 10% to show up out of your 20,000, something is wrong.
It's all a facade.
I don't know if you bought it. I don't know if you just whatever you got going on. Right. Don't care.
Right.
I got 600 followers as of today. Right, and as of majority of my shows, the percentage of my shows, when you add all my shows together and you do the math and you do the sums of it, you add all the shows together and you put it all together, my shows is averaging, you know, probably close to like, little over 100,
Right.
People that comes to my shows.
Right.
That reflects my followings.
And that's just the start. You know what I mean?
That reflects my followings.
Right.
That's what reflects that. And I'm not saying this because I'm not saying this to say like get your followers up. I'm not saying that at all.
No.
I'm saying get your supporters
up.
Yeah, get your supporters
get your reality
up.
up.
Yeah, get your supporters up, because I don't give a damn about having 1 million followers if I can't even get 1 million to come to my show.
Or even 100,000.
Or 100 to go to my show. Like, man, you got 50,000 followers, but you can't bring
you can't 500 people.
You got 50,000 followers, but you can't get 5 people to show up to your show.
That's bad.
That's nasty work. That's nasty work. And I'm just here to be real.
Right.
People can say and do whatever they feel, and people can say, whatever it is, or the people listen, when people look at me, they gotta face the truth.
Right.
You can't say, well, people from this city don't support each other. Some people from this city, like, okay, that might be true, but why is that? You could be the voice of reason. You could be the voice to change that, because there's no way that a country boy from Mississippi can come here and do it, and you can't. So you had to look at me and face the reality. Like, not only do I have less followers than you, I know less people than you.
Right.
And yet I'm doing it on a higher level.
You had a late start. You know what I'm saying? You had a head start, and let me take it to another level.
There's a disconnect. You need to get out there. Any artist that work with me,
right,
or for a majority of them, I'm gonna say, because some people just pass through. But any majority work with me, they got my number. Like, any one of them need anything, like, like, we might not be making money from this shit yet.
Yeah.
But if I got it, you got it.
Right.
I got a whole venue you can come and do your own show. Right. I got a whole venue that you can come and, like, promote your own whatever album that you got coming out and everything, that you can do your parties and stuff like that. Right. Like, if I got it, you got it. You hungry? Let me go get you something to eat, bro. I got you. Right. Like, like, if you need like you need some advice, bro, like that, I got you. Right. You know what? Let me change your whole image. You know how many people that's on my platform now are leaders in their communities because of the investments that I put into the brand that benefited them. I made some people headliners. Now, like, I made people headliners because I put that in. I said, yo, I'm going to make sure that you're on every card. Right. I'm gonna make sure that when it comes to these commercials, visuals, promotion, everything like that, I'm gonna do it the best way I can. So therefore, when people see you, they put that respect on your name. Right. Now, do I always get a thank you? No, I don't. Right. But at the end of the day, I did it because I see the value in yourself. Right. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is to the people that's out there, like, get out there and put your money where your mouth is. Get out there and connect with people and build with people. And with that being said, that's all I got for today, man.
Hey, I love it, man. Hey! I love it.